team know that the Steele dossier was filled with Russian intel? Did they know that the Steele dossier was filled with references to direct government officials in Russia? Now, there are people on the left who say, well, there's a difference between Hillary digging up dirt on Trump's dealings with Russia and Trump digging up dirt from Russia about Hillary's dealings not with Russia. I think there may be something to that, but I don't think that it fixes the generalized problem, which is if Hillary Clinton is complaining about Russian interference in the election and about Trump coordination with the Russians, then going to the Russians for help against Trump both undercuts that narrative and demonstrates that your own team was willing to work with the Russian government if they could dig something up about then-candidate Trump. So Jeanine Pirro is leading the charge. A lot of Republicans are already in sort of defensive mode, despite the fact that the Mueller investigation hasn't come up with anything really serious yet. They're already in defensive mode, and they're suggesting that Trump go on offense against Hillary Clinton. Again, I think Hillary Clinton should be fully investigated. I think all of this should have a full investigation. But to suggest that, the main line of attack right now should be about Hillary Clinton, and when nothing really bad is happening from the Mueller investigation, seems to me like revving up the engine while you're still in neutral. So here's Jeanine Pirro saying it's time to lock Hillary up.
It's time to shut it down, turn the tables, and lock her up. That's what I said. I actually said it. Lock her up.
Well, she said it, and since she said it, I guess we have to do it.
The Obamas and the Clintons built the Trump-Russia connection collapsed yesterday when it was disclosed that the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid $12 million for a dossier to connect Donald Trump to Russia.
Okay, we can stop that there. So here is the problem with this. Again, Hillary's malfeasance doesn't justify Trump's malfeasance. Both of them seem to have been willing to engage in something, right? It looks like the Clinton campaign actually engaged in something, right? The idea that the Clinton team didn't know that millions of dollars were being funneled for a dossier and what the dossier included, I find highly suspicious. So what we have here, I said this online and people on the right went nuts. Okay, what I said was basically what we have in the last election cycle were two teams of people who were willing to collude with the other side, meaning Russia, in order to get their opponent. Okay, that much is true. Then people say, well, Hillary was worse because Hillary actually colluded, meaning the Steele dossier. Okay, that may be true. I'm not denying that. But just because both sides were willing to conclude and only one side was capable of finishing the collusion, that does not actually mean that both sides are good or that one side is good. Now, people can say Trump is better than Clinton. Maybe in the same way that I guess attempted murder is better than actual murder if we're talking about crimes here. But I still don't think that that really meets the standard of decency. This, I guess, goes back to the last election cycle when I said that both candidates can suck. People have a tough time with that. But the reality is that what we're seeing from Team Trump, while we don't see criminal activity yet from Team Trump with regard to Russia collusion, the idea that they're willing to collude with Russia has been known since the Donald Trump Jr. emails. And those emails were not good for Team Trump, right? That was kind of scuzzy. I mean, if you're willing to work with the Russians in order to dig up Trump dirt on Hillary, that's not good. And the fact that Hillary was willing to have somebody dig up dirt on Trump from the Russians is also not good. It's possible that everyone sucks and that one is worse. Both things can be true at once. Well, the Democrats are still trying to focus in on this dossier, too, and trying to say that the dossier contains damning material about Trump. Adam Schiff, who's this representative Democrat from California, he says that the dossier has still not been debunked, and there's still crazy eyes. Adam Schiff says that it's most important is to determine what is true in the dossier.
I certainly would have, liked to know who paid for it earlier, but nonetheless, that's just one factor to be considered. It doesn't answer the ultimate question, which is how much of the work is accurate, how much of it is true. And my colleagues don't seem particularly interested in that question, but that is really the most important question for the American people, and that is how much of this allegation that Christopher Steele makes and the reports that he hears are true about the Russian government wanting to help the Trump campaign.
Okay,
now,
so a couple of things. One, there are two things that are worth investigating. One, what's in the dossier is true, and two, did Hillary Clinton work with the Russians in order to compile a dossier about her opponent, right? I mean, that is bad stuff. Okay, so I do want to talk about Kevin Spacey at length because this is an amazing story, and it demonstrates the full-on politically correct insanity